Hello, I'm Sarah McKenna, and I'm delighted to be here with Paul Pritchard. We're going to be having a quick chat with regard to an upcoming webinar series he's speaking at. The title of the three webinar series is Sustainability in a World Growing in Uncertainty, Risks and Opportunities, Optimizing Performance, Unlocking and Allocating Resources Ahead of Less Resilient Competitors. Now, it's quite a long title, but I think it gives a really clear précis of the discussion topics for the three sessions. All three sessions feature top-notch, highly qualified speakers with a huge range of experience and expertise. And this series is the why, what, and how to regarding sustainability. Now, the series is being hosted by Padder Duffy, and I recommend you take a look at his introductory video, which you will find on the landing page for the webinar series before you move on to hear from our speakers. If you go to the ESG Exchange, all one word, .org, and then do a quick search for sustainability, and you'll find all the details of the webinars and the speakers there. So today I'm going to give you a taster of the sessions by having a quick chat with one of the speakers for the first session, the why. Understanding why uncertainty matters is the first step in building organisational resilience and ensuring sustainable performance. So, Paul, you've agreed to be a speaker for the why aspect of this series. Can you give me a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. Yes, I am originally an environmental chemist. Subsequently spent most of my career in the finance sector, looking at sustainability issues, going through the whole transition from being niche to hopefully being more mainstream. I've worked as an independent for the last few years, and a lot of that's been spent working around climate-related disclosures. I also serve as chair for the BSI Sustainable Finance Standards Committee in the UK, and am technical lead on a standard that they're producing at the moment around transition planning. So that's me.
Oh, excellent. I mean, that's a broad range of experience. So, yeah, I can absolutely understand why you were invited to speak. But actually, being invited to speak and actually agreeing to speak are two different things. So, I would really like to know what it was specifically that made you want to be involved in this series of webinars.
Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation to speak. I was particularly taken by this subject because of the very long title. Not because it was long, but actually because it actually touched on a number of key issues that I think. And again, when I'm looking at myself, particularly in like a corporate setting, it's really meetings back to back and deadlines and needing to complete things. And actually, one of the things that really struck me about this is it's almost taking a bit of a step back and saying, thinking about it a bit more and why are we doing this and what might be the implications. So I think it's really that of trying to think a little bit more about it. So it's not a briefing, it's really hopefully stimulates people a bit with their thinking.
And to me, that's always the key thing with a webinar. If you haven't been left thinking and wanting more information, then it's not really done the job, has it? So, yeah, absolutely agree. Now, Paul, I want to ask you a very key question, and I'm going to be putting it to all of the speakers for these introductory sessions. And it's quite a tricky one. And that is, do you think that the conflict between the political and the scientific is going to reduce or worsen in the coming year or two? Or might it get better? And why?
Yeah, that's a great question, isn't it? Um, so I think all of us in this space are aware of the kind of geopolitical developments, the pushback that we're getting. I see it in places, even like the regulators and the supervisors for the finance sector, actually perhaps not wanting to get involved in those sorts of debates, or particularly in the US, being concerned about litigation. So yes, that isn't a welcome development at all. However, against that, and I'm thinking about the sort of interactions I've had with some US organizations here in the finance sector, um, they actually seem to be doing more in a practical sense. So it's like they are doing more internally, them not talking about it as much as maybe they used to. So I don't think it's all necessarily bad. And, I think getting it embedded into operations is absolutely critical. And I think something we'll be talking about more in the podcast. Um, there's also, I think there is a challenge about people being able to justify claims. I mean, people have talked about greenwashing. I mean, we don't want it to go the other way completely, that people don't say anything, but actually, hopefully, it'll come to some sort of equilibrium. I guess I'm an optimist, maybe unfounded sometimes, but essentially, I'm an optimist.
Yeah. And you know what? So am I. I definitely always do hope that things will get better. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Let's hope that the things that people are doing, and as you say, not necessarily talking about right now, are actually going to make that difference. And I do hope that perhaps the webinar might encourage them to think, actually, we are doing something in this space. Maybe we should be talking to people and share their experiences and help encourage others to sort of take part as well. So, yeah. So, before I let you go, I want to ask you a final question, and that would be, what is your personal goal for the webinar series itself? As in, what do you hope that the delegates will take away from the sessions?
Yeah, another good question. And I think I've probably been to too many workshops and events in the past where I've wondered that when I come away from them. So I would say that, and going back to the original reason that I got involved, um, it's maybe highlighting an approach or a tool or something like that that people maybe hadn't experienced before, or hopefully just stepping back and having a bit more of a think about this. I mean, we're so restricted in the amount of space that we get to actually think about things rather than just doing stuff. So, yeah, that would be my hope, I think.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good target as well. Paul, great. Thank you. I've really enjoyed hearing from you today. And one of these days, I'm going to get to the bottom of the mystery. That is why so many people with a chemistry and physics background end up going into finance, because I find that absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, it's probably another time.
Definitely. Lovely. Well, I look forward to hearing more on the subject that we're actually supposed to be talking about. And that will be on the 18th of September. So obviously, everybody out there, please do make a note in your diary for that. 18th of September, the why of the webinar series. Thank you all so much for your time today. Paul, thanks again.
Thank you.